Alright, so welcome back to Doki Doki New Eyes. So we're just so Yuri is just going to the water fountain to get more water for her tea. So and that my care the MC, aka Viper, joins the club. Even though that my name is Viper, and you already know. So let's do this shit. Water fountain. There should be one by the stairs, if I recall correctly. Wow, I chuckle a bit. It seems like Sayori just saw Natsuki's cupcakes. She's always so expressive. I love to be as straightforward as she is. As I walk away from the club room, I hear everyone happily chatting. Here it is. Put the kettle underneath the faucet. As incredibly slow to fill. God, why won't this work? It should be, huh? Is that Monica's voice? Shouldn't be, shouldn't she be in the club room? I looked around me, but she's nowhere to be found. Did I just imagine that? Maybe I should have eaten more this morning. If I hadn't burned those eggs, I grabbed the kettle, now full, and I head back to the club room. Viper looks at me for an instant. This is embarrassing. I get some tea ready and I place down teacups in front of everyone. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, it doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy the book? I guess. Or oh, maybe he really doesn't like tea. Did I do something wrong? Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not. That was mean. I'm just trying to be nice. I I meant I meant that. You know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. I slowly sigh in relief. That at least makes a similarity between us. Monica chuckles and smiles at Viper. So, what made you consider the Lush Club? Uh, he ponders for a moment. It looks like he doesn't even know why he's here in the first place. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet. Sayori seems really happy here, so that's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Lush Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. It's rare to see Monica this cheerful. I glance at Natsuki. Contrary to Monica and myself, seems as though she's still not willing to kindly acknowledging Viper's presence. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member of any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, you know, to be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. That's understandable. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. I giggle and nod at Sayori. Indeed, Monica has been making this club a welcoming place for everyone. I really should thank her someday. then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club. Yeah, it must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. All right, I'm a, I'm a, I'm gonna try to talk. Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna try to talk over the other room, yeah, guys, so it doesn't get copyrighted. And if it gets copyrighted, then my apologies, yeah, guys, because family members. That's why. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile, but it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Bye, everyone. Yeah, we'll do our best. I'm looking forward to the cultural festival, actually. I wonder that kind of exciting activities Monica will come up with. You know it? You know. Piper looks amused. It's hard to tell if he finds us entertaining or if he's just nervous about being in a situation which he's not accustomed to. I take a sip of my tea. It looked like he's already done drinking his. So he likes my tea. For some reason, that makes me a tad happy. I think I recall that he said literature isn't a common pastime for him, but if he's here, he may have a slight interest in it. I'd like to know more about him. So, Viper, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, manga. His voice is barely audible. It looks like he isn't really interested in literature then. I know someone who has the same hobby though. Glance at Natsuki and she opens her mouth but stays silent. She's likely trying to choose whether to be hostile or friendly. Makes sense. She doesn't even have any friends that are also interested in manga. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. That can change. Is he seriously willing to try reading actual literature? Maybe I could introduce him to some of my favorite works. I'm just getting ahead of myself again. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. So many things I want to say. Is it really okay? My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. There are so many possibilities when writing a story. Some people write because they want to convey emotions, others because they want to create their own world. In my opinion, both reading and writing are two incredibly beautiful occupations. But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Uh, I read a horror book once. I read a horror book once. What he said? I was so absorbed in what I was saying, I didn't even hear him. Monica looks at me with a surprised expression. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. Someone as gentle as you. Guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, it's just. She glances at Viper. I know her well, but this is the first time I've seen her act this way. She was aggressive, then quiet, now embarrassed. It's weird. Never mind. That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you the idea? I, I left a piece of scrap paper behind the last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem call. Don't say it out loud. And give that back. Fine, fine. Yet I never got to finish my conversation with Viper. Maybe this talk was boring for him. Uh, you, your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. She settles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. I laughed. These two are childish, but that makes them even more interesting. I'd love to eventually spend more time with Sayori. Maybe she could teach me how to be more outgoing. After all, she's Viper's friend, so she must know how to be interesting. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Eh, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Beyond Natsuki's seemingly confident stature, I can see that she's afraid of people's opinions. So she doesn't want Viper to judge her. Why? I thought she made it clear that she hated him. So many questions I can't ask right now. You wouldn't like them. That's not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. I trust the truest form of writing is writing on oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and show even the deepest reaches of your heart. The one that the Bible lessons I've learned in my writing sessions is that it's important to write of oneself. I've ever I've never wanted to share my writing with others either. One of the reasons being that I'm uneasy around my classmates. Another reason is that I'm scared of what they'll think. This is probably what Natsuki's feeling right now. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Maybe I've said too much. I really want to share my work, but what if Fiber doesn't like it? I don't want to sound full of myself. What am I supposed to do? Guess it's the same for Yuri. I want to read everyone's poems. Well, isn't she concerned about writing poems? No, I think about it. I've never seen her write. I wonder what kind of poems she's written before. There is an awkward silence in the room. Okay, alright, dear everyone. I know that tone. Monica's probably coming up with a great idea once again. So we'll go home and write a poem on our own. Next time we meet, we'll share them with each other. That way everyone is even. What? I was expecting anything but this. I can't share my poems with just like that. I look at Natsuki. She looks even more stressed than before. Um, Now this is an embarrassing situation. Yay, let's do it. I envy Sayori's enthusiasm. Plus, now that we have the member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Viper? She happily smiles at him. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and oh, I see. Why did I get my hopes up anyway? It doesn't really matter. I just thought that he'd be an interesting person. But I'm sorry, I thought. Hmm. Viper, you all, even Natsuki looked disappointed. I have trouble understanding him. Why would he even come here if he doesn't want to join? This is making me think way too much. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the Allergic Club. So I sigh in relief. Thank God. Yes, I'm so happy. She wraps her arms around Viper. Seeing her this excited is so heartwarming. Hey, you really did scare me for a moment. If you really just come here for the cupcakes, I'll be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to Lush Club. I smile at Viper. He still looks a little embarrassed, but I feel like he's already getting used to us. I'll I'll be able to share my interest with him. Oh, thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remembers tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring for the next meeting so we can all share. She intensely stares at Viper. Viper, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah, he doesn't really seem too thrilled, even though we have to write poems. Although I'm looking forward to see what he comes up with. For the poems we have to write, I'm certain his writing is good, considering the positive aura around him. Hey, Virus, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? Sure, might as well. Yay! The two of them head out the door, waving at us. They exit. It's just me, Monica, and Natsuki now. Monica sighs and looks at me. Well, that was stressful, wasn't it? But I feel like he made a great member. Hmm. Don't you see how he's acting? He doesn't even like literature. I tell you, something's off with him. Come on, Natsuki. He doesn't seem like you hate him that much towards the end of our meeting. I saw you look. I saw you look on your face. He talked about some manga. Wait on a second. Uh, he doesn't really look like a bad person, in my opinion. Well, he didn't talk all that much, but it looks like you had fun talking to him, Yuri. I. That's true that our talk was enjoyable. I really talk to boys, but as embarrassing as it wasn't a bad experience. I think he was an enjoyable personality. Oh, he has an enjoyable personality. Uh, the club Yuri, how can you like such a bean sprout? What? Just forget it. Anyway, Sayori and Viper may be gone, but we still have a few things to do. Manga points at the table instead. Indeed, the cupcake tray is still dirty, and the tea set is still here. I'll take care of the tea set. Natsuki, you can put the tray away. Sure. I stare at Viper's cup. Well, it seems like he enjoyed the tea. I gather all the teacups and put them on the tray. I, I'll have to clean them. Oh, hey, Yuri. I have to clean the tray. Why don't we head to the fountain together? Yeah, sure. Monica's just sitting at the desk reading a book. I suppose she doesn't really have anything else to do. We'll be right back, Monica. No answer. The book she's reading must be quite captivating. Let's just go. It won't take too long. Natsuki opens the door and blissfully heads over to the staircase. And we're going to save it right there, yeah, guys. See you guys next time.